And all boxing activities in Ghana have been suspended following the death of super middleweight Ernest Akushi, popularly known as Bahubali, 11 days after a bout in Accra. While the exact cause of death is yet to be determined, preliminary indications suggest it may be linked to internal injuries sustained during his recent fight. Akushi faced Jacob Dixon at the Bukum Boxing Arena in the Ghanaian capital on 12th September. In a statement, the National Sports Authority described the nationwide suspension as a necessary step to protect lives, uphold the integrity of the sport, and ensure its future. Authorities have also announced plans to implement a 5-year strategy aimed at establishing safer, more professional, and globally aligned standards for boxing. This incident marks the second death of a professional boxer in Ghana within the space of 6 months and reigniting discussions about safety standards. In March, Nigeria's Gabriel Olarenwaju collapsed while taking on Ghanaian opponent John Mbanugu, also here in Accra, and died soon after being rushed to the hospital. The decision by the NSA to suspend the sport received mixed reactions from the public. And this, we want to speak to people close to the issue for some clarity. And joining us in studios, sports presenter here at Metro TV, Phil John Corte, and also later we'll be speaking to ranking member on the Youth and Sports Committee in Parliament, and that will be via Zoom. But Phil, good evening, and thank you for joining us here on Newsnight. This has been going on, a lot of reactions to it. First off, as a journalist, what do you make of this?
I think, first of all, it's rather unfortunate. Why am I saying so? Because I think as a country, as much as we want to enhance what has been known as Ghana's first sports glory, boxing, we need to also know what it means to the international front. Remember that we went through football, which was quite embarrassing. We are here with boxing once again. And as much as, yes, it might be embarrassing, the right thing must be done. And I think the sports minister has taken the right step. My only problem is that whether there was a much engagement with stakeholders, that's my only problem. But to me, I saw this thing coming way back. I mean, I'd say way back in June, it should have happened. The key only problem I have is that has there been enough stakeholders consultation with the stakeholders? Because whether you like it or not, it is an authority. There's a boxing federation that is under the sports ministry, but this is a boxing authority. So you have to weigh certain pros and cons. But all in all they want is for the upliftment and development of boxing in Ghana. It looks like dwindling a little bit. And again, too, human lives are at stake. We might not connect to this Bahubali stuff to what happened that maybe is that cost us, but it has a connection. And whether we like it or not, anybody that will be held responsible, it might not be totally the Ghana Boxing Authority, but the National Sports Authority and the Sports Ministry oversees all sporting activities here in Ghana. So therefore, they took the wild step. And it's very important that we get over there. Today, remember that the IMEC finally was inaugurated. And guess who is the chairman? The former chairman of the Ghana Boxing Authority, Samuel Katan, who is a rep of the WBOA, is the chairman. We have boxing legend Barima Azuma Nelson as the technical advisor and the vice chairman. It's good. Kenneth Kwate and the medical doctors, all the lawyers, they are a part of it. We're just hoping that they will do a great job. I'm confident in them that they'll do a great job.
But Phil, the question also will be, just before Vincent Asifo comes in, what happened with the Nigerian issue? Did we know what exactly caused his death, even prior to this? And looking at what it has done to the minds of everybody thinking about this is happening in March. Did we get enough as to what exactly happened? And it has happened again.
The connection is the word over there. Does it link to what happened to Bahubali? That's a question you ask yourself.
Okay.
But after the death of the Nigerian, right now, unfortunately, there was a committee that was set up, led by legal brain and former sports minister, lawyer Michael Matthew, that set out a white paper to ensure that all these things does not happen once again. But in this very case that we find ourselves, that led to the quick inauguration of their committee, we are yet to see the autopsy report of Bahubali, so you cannot connect it directly. But whether you like it or not, there should be some form of connection.
Okay.
Whether medically the boxers were fit prior to bouts and after, what happened to them. So it may be dilly-dally, but the most important thing is that the right thing must be done. And the context have been taken. Let's move forward. Let's ensure that the right people are in the helm of affairs so that they streamline things. And I believe that they've done the right thing. The only thing is I'm just hoping, cross fingers, that they involve those that matter very, very well. Because if they don't do that, we'll go back again and the same issue will crop up again. My only worry that is a brilliant idea. Inauguration I've done today. I was there myself as a sports journalist. I explained, and the sports minister explained to the rest of the world what it means to have the IMC because they want Ghana's boxing at hand, just like any other person want Ghana to win once again. So yes, it's good. But the key thing is that let's engage people who are that matter very well, because whether they like it or not, they need boxers to be part of it, they need trainers to be part of it, they need matchmakers to be part of it, and they need investors to be part of it. It's a brilliant idea, and we all have to welcome it. But that I'm saying is that let's work with all parties, and all hands must come on deck, just like Samuel Kamtan and others said today.
Okay, so we'll get to Vincent Asifwa, and if I think he's on.
Yes, so let's still stay on this. Vincent Asifwa is a member of parliament for Old Tafo and ranking member on the Youth and Sports Committee. He's joining us via Zoom. The National Sports Authority has suspended all boxing activities in the country after the tragic loss of a boxer. They say they reached this decision because they have to prioritize the safety, health, and welfare of athletes. Right thing to do? Hello?
In the repetition. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, so it's quite unfortunate that we've seen a repetition of what happened in March. It seems to us that the African mentality is always at play. We allow things to happen, fatalities to happen before we take drastic steps. I think that during the March incident and even after that, we could have done something very important about this matter. But unfortunately, we couldn't do that. But first and foremost, let me extend my condolences to the families. It's a very difficult time for them, the trainers as well, and the boxing fraternity. I think that it's a very regrettable incident, and we should pray that it does not happen. But of course, we need to act on it to make sure that some of these things do not happen. I think that we are at where we are today because of how we have managed the situation, especially because I do not think that we take the medical aspect of the boxing seriously. Why do I say so? I say so because even in other jurisdictions like the United States of America, specifically Nevada, before a boxer will be allowed to box, I mean, you have to go through certain procedures like general physical screening. You have to go through neurological screening. I don't think that these things are done. Even your vision, your basic blood test, and ECG. You have to do all that before you're allowed to even box. Even at the rank side, there should also be a medical stance with qualified doctors and all that over there. I think that we are struggling with some of this because if these things were really in place, I do not think that this situation will befall us as a country. I think that we have this situation at hand because over the period we have not had any budget line established dedicated fund for the Ghana Boxing Authority for them to be able to use those resources to be able to take care of the welfare and the medical aspect of the boxing fraternity. And because if there are no resources, of course, you cannot make sure that there's a ringside medical standby, fully equipped for the boxers. You can't do that because there are no resources. You cannot also deal with their insurance. In fact, even with promoters' licenses, it is proper that anybody who is given a license by the regulator, in this case, if it's the Ghana Boxing Authority, before you are given the license, the procedure that you'll be taken through for you to understand even the medical aspect of the boxers is very critical, and I doubt these things are done. So, and that is why it is regrettable that it happened in March. We did not take the right steps to make sure that it does not happen again, only for it to happen in September, and a very unfortunate, regrettable step that we should close down or we should shut down the boxing fraternity. I do not think that that is the way to go. And I think I agree with Phil when Phil said that it happened with the football fraternity, it is happening with the Ghana Boxing Authority as well. I mean, the image of Ghana on the international platform is not that good when it comes to some of these things.
Miss,
I think that the minister could have taken a different approach where some proper engagement with stakeholders like the retired boxers association or retired boxers could have been engaged right from March to make sure that these things does not happen again. And the minister could have also injected some amount of money in the setup of medical facilities or whatsoever around the ringside to make sure that these things do not happen. Trainers, we should have engaged trainers, we should have engaged promoters, we should have engaged managers, even retired referees and even current referees who deals in boxing. If these people were engaged, I do not think that we could have gotten another shock of our lives. And I think that we should take much interest in some of these things that we do. Other than that, this kind of disgrace will not help the Ghana
and,
Boxing
and,
Association
and,
because
and
in the international community, Ghana have had that kind of image when it comes to boxing. It's our pride. Football is not only our pride. Boxing is also our pride because you've had the likes of Azuma Nelson holding or raising the flags of Ghana high when it comes to boxing. We have Ikote raising the flag of Ghana high when it comes to boxing. So we have every responsibility to make sure that we protect that credibility, that image that they've left for us as a nation.
now, talking about the welfare and safety of boxers, how do we ensure boxers are cared for and protected? And Mr. Sifwa, can you kindly turn on your camera so we can see you and have a conversation?
Well, unfortunately, where I am, I'm unable to turn on my camera. I'm currently out of the jurisdiction. I'm at a conference now, so
Okay, you can go
I'm
ahead and
unable to
answer.
do so. But I think that we can have a very good conversation. When I come to the country, I can probably come to the studio for us to do so. In
Definitely.
terms of the welfare, I think that it has been a problem of resource. And I think that I will blame the media one way or the other because you see, over the period, there has not been any budget allocation that is specifically dedicated to Ghana Boxing Association. So, how do you want to reap where you've not sown? How do you want to have your boxing get to the level that you want it to get to? Have the international standards that you expect that it should have? Compare that with what happens in Nevada, in the United States of America, where even when there's a knockout or even if like a technical knockout, you are banned for about 30 or 60 days minimum, unless you are cleared by a medical personnel that, in terms of your brain MRI, in terms of your neurological screen, in terms of your general physical um, strength, you are okay and all that. We don't do those things here. And so if you don't push in money, how do you expect to get the right result? So I think that when it comes to the welfare of the Ghana Bosses Association, the ministry and the government should be interested in making sure that there is a dedicated budget line to be able to be given to these bosses. In terms of insurance, as we speak, I pity even the families because I do not think that there's proper insurance for the people who have died in the course of boxing in this country because um, if there's no proper insurance, if the government is not pushing in enough money to make sure that there's indeed proper insurance for these boxers, I mean, it means that we do not even care about the welfare of these boxers, and I don't think that that should be happening. And that's why I say it is regrettable that when it happened in March, there should have been a proper, adequate, important step that could have been taken from March, only for us to find a repetition in September because we did not take the right step. We were just interested in, as it were, forming a new IMC or forming a new group of people for them to come and deal when it is not just about the people. I think that the Ghana Boston Association is made up of competent people who can deal with it. And in fact, with the meeting that they had, I was told that the Ghana Boston Association was demanding for some extension of time for them to be able to clean up the mess or if like do some of the things that they were expected to do. It was not just about clearing the board or if like Ghana Boxing Association off and bring in new people. That's I don't think that is the remedy. The remedy was, as Phil said, proper engagement that was not done, because we have retired boxers that could have been engaged. We have retired trainers that could have been engaged. We have retired promoters. We have managers, we have referees, retired referees that could have been engaged to make sure that we could do this. Banning it does not solve anything. Within the period that you've banned it, boxing is a livelihood for some people. People have already invested, promoters have already invested. What happens to their investment? What happens to people who are having boxing as their livelihood? Are you saying that they should go to bed without a square meal or what? I mean, that's what I'm saying, that if there was proper engagement, we would have seen the kind of investment that have been done by certain promoters, the kind of nuances that this kind of decisions comes with, so that we will be able to form a very important decision. As we speak,
Vincent.
we speak, even
Vincent
the
Eko
committee of
Asifo.
youth and sports, the committee for youth and sports have not been engaged, and so I don't see the kind of governance that you are seeing in this country.
I was just even going to ask that if he was going to raise it on the floor of Parliament.
Absolutely. Today I have seen a request, or if you like, a reconvening letter from the Speaker of Parliament, reconvening Parliament on the 14th of October. What that means is that now you have the opportunity to raise some of these matters on the floor of Parliament as a public matter. In fact, even in the absence of that opportunity being given to me, I have opportunity to raise it as in terms of statements, to be able to have a comprehensive statement on the Ghana Boxing Authority, because it is unacceptable that you have a boxing authority that does not have a budget line specifically dedicated to the Ghana Boxing Authority. Nobody even audits their account, so we don't even know how monies that have been given to them by the ministry are being used. It is unacceptable. We cannot allow that to continue.
It
And
is
we should make sure
unacceptable.
that
Thank you very
if we are
much,
interested in the Ghana
Vincent
Boxing
Eko
Authority
Asifo.
or the Ghana Boxing fraternity, we do what is right.
Thank you very much. Vincent Eko Asifo is a member of Parliament for Old Tafo and ranking member on the Youth and Sports Committee.
Lady, just
a quick one.
before we go away, let's get to viewers that the committee have been mandated. The key word that they have been mandated with the first 3 months to ensure that they reform Ghana boxing. Insurance is part of it. The welfare of boxers is part of it. So it's a whole package. Some people are even saying that the mandate should be extended to ensure that the right thing is done. 3 months to get results might be too early, but they have the mandate also to extend it. So the key word over there, insurance for boxers, the coaches and everything, the health aspect is just there. We're just hoping that the right people will also be consulted to ensure the right thing is done.